guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about today's video. We're going to be trying out some new products from the brand Persona. You guys might know if you've been following me for a while, I'm a big fan of Persona. I love so many of their products. I've never tried something from them that I didn't really love, and I was lucky enough to be contacted by Persona just about a week or two ago to try out and share with you guys their new cream highlighter. So they did send me that. We're going to try it out today. I've actually been using it for a couple of days now because I wanted to have some good detailed thoughts on it. In addition to that, since I knew they were going to be sending me this and I knew that their bronzer was on my wish list, I went ahead and ordered the cream bronzer from Ulta so we could try them out together. So we're going to try them both out today. I also have a new lip product from them that just happened to make it into my cart on Ulta's website that looks kind of interesting. I can't wait to try them out and share them with you guys. I think we're going to do some comparisons of the bronzer to some of my favorite cream bronzers in my collection. We'll do some swatches and see how they compare, and then just sprinkle in a couple of other favorites as well. Should be a lot of fun. I hope that you guys are excited about it. But before we jump into the makeup, I want to welcome any of you that are new to my channel. So happy to have you here. I hope that you'll consider subscribing. Also, make sure your notification bell is turned on if you'd like to be notified every time I upload a new video. And with that said, let's get to it. Alright you guys, so I do already have my foundation and concealer on. I also did my brows. For my foundation today, I used my Mise en Snelle Repair BB Cream. And the concealer I went with is the Flower Beauty Light Illusion Concealer. I have the shade Light 34. And then in my brows, I have this CYO Lash and Brow Gel. I think this has been discontinued, but I actually really love this stuff when it works out for me. It's a little messy and hard to work with, but when it works, it gives me that very like laminated kind of wet looking eyebrow that I kind of like. So we're going to jump into the face products first. I want to start by showing you guys the two face products that I have with me. First off, the one that they sent me. This is their multi-stick highlight, what is it called? Highlight multi-stick. So this is a multi-purpose product. It can be used on your eyes, your cheeks, and your lips. I haven't used it on my eyes yet, but I have used it on my lips and my cheeks. It's a very unique product. We'll talk a little bit more about this when we get to applying it. I can't wait to show you guys. And then right here we have the bronzer stick. So I got the shade Dune, which I think is the lighter shade. I believe they have two shades of this. They have a deeper, cooler tone shade and then a lighter, more mid-tone warm shade, and that's this one right here, which is the shade Dune. So we're going to jump in, apply all the different products that I use, and at the end of the video we're going to come back to this bronzer. I'm going to share with you guys some comparisons and swatches to some of my favorite bronzers within my collection and see how they compare, but I'm very eager to apply this first. So we're going to start off with the bronzer. I'm going to take this stippling brush right here. This one is from Luxie. Actually, before I do that, I want to give it a swatch just to feel kind of what I'm working with. Ooh, this is really nice and creamy. Ooh, that feels really, really nice and creamy. It actually reminds me, the creaminess of this kind of reminds me of the cream bronzer I have in my Patrick Ta duo, or maybe even the one in the Kaja one, which we'll be comparing both of those at the end. That looks like a really pretty shade. It is quite warm, but let's see how it looks on my skin. So I'm taking it directly on the brush, and then I'm just kind of stippling it onto the back of my hand, just so I don't get too much product on at once. Especially since I don't quite know how pigmented this one's going to be yet. And then I just like to stipple it on. So far, feels very nice. It is quite warm, but it looks pretty so far. Add a little bit down kind of the side of my neck. Alright, and a little bit on the other side. Alright, so there is the bronzer. Very, very nice and creamy. The shade is a little bit warm, so be aware, especially if you have lighter or very, very fair skin, and maybe you like something a little bit more neutral or ashy. This is a warmer bronzer. I think it looks really nice, but I know not everybody likes a warm bronzer, but as far as the formula, really, really nice, creamy, easy to blend formula. So we're going to apply blush next, and then we'll come back and try the highlighter. I want to put that on last. So for blush today, I thought about going with my Persona blush, but because we're using cream cheek products, I really want to do something kind of juicy looking, and what better than my Juicy Pink water blushes. It's actually been a little while since I've used these, and by a little while I mean like 3 or 4 weeks, which that's as long as I've ever gone without using one of my Juicy Pink blushes. I think for today, let's do a bit of a combination. So I'm trying to think, what do I have planned for my eyes today? Why don't we just do something kind of neutral, because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing on the eyes yet. Let's take the shade Guava, one of my favorites. And by the way, if you need the shade number, because it depends on where you buy them, sometimes they go by the name, sometimes they go by the number. It's PK03. Really good neutral shade, so I'm just going to take a little swipe of that on the back of my hand, and then let's add a little bit of warmth to it, especially because my cheeks are kind of warm. I want to make sure my blush is not too cool toned, so we're going to add a little bit of this one right here. This is the shade PK04. Can't remember the name of this one. I need to write them down and have a little card that like sits in front of my camera, because it seems to be a problem every time I use these on camera. I can't remember the names of them. So there are the two shades we're going to combine together. I like just taking them on the back of my hand, mixing them up with my finger, and then I'm going to take that same brush that I did wipe off a little bit, and we'll just pop those onto the brush and pop them onto my cheeks. I so love these blushes. All right, that looks so nice. I have this little blemish right here that's been driving me bananas for the last couple of days, but let's just ignore that. We're gonna move on to the highlighter. I am so excited to try this out for you guys. So here is a closer look at the highlighter. Hopefully you can kind of see just by looking at it that this doesn't look like other highlighters. In fact, I think it looks more like a lip balm than a highlighter. Initially, I'll be honest, I was kind of intimidated by it. Like, that looks and feels different than anything I've tried. It is definitely different than what I've tried, but I really like it. And I was surprised at how much reflect this gives to your skin. There's this really pretty subtle gold sparkle throughout it, but it's also quite sheer, so I think this would work for anyone's skin tone. It gives you just this really nice sheer kind of balmy looking dew on your cheeks. Now it is a little bit balmy, so if you don't like something that feels a little bit hydrating, you might not like this. I think it's really nice. I'm a big fan of anything that's going to add a little bit of hydration to my cheeks, and it is super pretty. And I was actually surprised at how well it lasted on me. So I tried it out yesterday and did a check-in at the end of the day before I washed my face last night, and I could still see it on my cheeks. So do you see just kind of that subtle glow that it gives? It's a really subtle highlighter. I don't know if subtle is the right word. It's just very natural looking. Like, it looks like you naturally just have light reflecting off of your skin in the areas that you put it. And it makes a pretty good lip balm as well. I'm gonna add a little bit to my lips right now. I do think it works best just tapped on with your finger. I just like to rub my finger in it and then just tap it onto my cheeks, onto my nose, just kind of where I want it. I'm curious to see someone try it on their eyes. I don't imagine it's gonna be like long wearing on your eyes because it is quite balmy and moisturizing. It definitely doesn't set down. One thing I did try a couple of days ago though is I put this on and then put a traditional highlighter on top of it just at the high points, and that was really beautiful as well if you like something more intense. So there it is. Hopefully you guys can kind of see that gold sheen on my cheeks. It's really, really nice. I will say if you put too much on, you can feel that tackiness there for a little while, and I've noticed like the first day I put quite a bit on, my hair would like stick to it. So be aware of that. Try not to go too heavy-handed. That's hard for me to do because I'm always a little heavy-handed with my highlighter. But so far I think it's really nice, especially if you like something more natural, if you like really kind of glowy, natural looking makeup. Really nice product. Very excited to keep playing with this. I think it's really, really pretty. Let's jump over to the eyes and finish off my eye look today. So I pulled out my two Persona palettes. I actually haven't used my Persona Identity 2 palette for quite a while, and I love this palette. So many pretty jewel tones in here. So I think we're mostly going to stick with this one today. I might dabble in the Identity one if I feel like I'm missing something or I need something, but I think I'm going to do something kind of light today. I love the shade Empowered in here. It's one of my favorites. So we might do a little bit of like a purpley pink look. So let's start off by going in with this shade right here. This is shade Loyal. Really nice transition shade. I like this transition shade a lot more than the one in the original palette. It just works a little bit better for my skin tone. So nice. I mean, this is like one of the best transition shades I own. It's perfect for me. I have to say, my brows are looking so good today. If you guys know of a good brow gel that gives you that kind of wet looking, almost laminated brow look, I think Patrick Todd just came out with one. That's one I'm kind of interested in. But if you guys have a recommendation for that type of a brow gel, whether it's clear or not, doesn't matter so much. I don't mind either, but let me know. Give me your recommendations down below. Something that makes them look nice and like wet. On that same brush, by the way, the rougher number 16 brush is what I'm using. Just running that underneath my lower lash line, same shade. Now I want to dip into this shade right here. It's kind of corally pink, shade Passionate. Just a tiny bit of that on the tip of my brush. This is pretty pigmented, but I'm just going to add a little bit of this kind of through this crease and on this outer corner a little bit. Now we're going to take this smaller brush, the rougher number 13, and dip into this shade down here, the shade Empowered. Such a pretty kind of purpley berry tone. It's one of my favorite shades in here. I'm going to start applying that to the outer corner and just pulling it in about halfway across the lid. This was one of the palettes that a lot of you mentioned in your Holy Grail eyeshadow palettes poll that I did on Instagram. More people probably mentioned the Identity one, but I was surprised at how many people mentioned the Identity 2. Not because I don't think it's a great palette, but it is quite colorful. I mean, they're not bold colors, they're more jewel tones, but if you like a little bit of color, it is a really nice palette. Alright, now jumping over to this shade right here. This is shade Honest. It's the shimmery, it's kind of a peachy pink. This is a really pretty lid shade. When I first tried out this palette and saw that shade, I thought it looked kind of, I don't want to say odd, but I was like, it seemed like it was a little, I don't know, not neutral enough, or I thought maybe it wouldn't go with all the shades inside here, but you guys, this is such a pretty lid shade. It looks beautiful with all the colors in this palette if you like something bright on your inner lid or inner corner. Really pretty finish too. It's not quite as metallic as the ones in the Identity one, but I actually kind of like that, especially because it's so bright. It has just like a touch of pink in it that's really, really beautiful. And just because we can, I know I said I didn't want to go too deep, but I can't help it. Let's just add a little bit of this matte brown down here, the shade Brave. Tiniest amount on that same number 13 brush. Instead of applying liner today, I'm just going to apply a little bit of this right to the lash line. I'm dusting that kind of on the top and bottom lash line at the same time, just to make it look a little bit smoky. Let's add just a little bit of mascara. I'm going to take a couple of coats of this mascara right here. This is from Tony Moly. This is their Delight Circle Lens mascara, but the one in the pink lid. These are really hard to get your hands on, but I had this on backup and I finally opened it up. But it is really nice. Not as nice as the green lid one that I love so much. So I'm going to apply a couple of coats of this, then I will come back and we will finish off the face with the Persona lip product and we will be all done. Alright, here are the finished eyes, the finished cheeks. I'm very happy with everything so far. I think it looks beautiful. I can't wait to try out this lip product. So this is their E-Balm. I believe these have been out for quite a while. You guys might know I don't often spend more than like $5 on a lip balm, but these looked so pretty and they actually have quite a bit of color to them. Well, at least online they appeared that they did. I haven't even swatched this yet. We're going to try it out together. I ended up going with the shade Meditate. So I want to swatch it for you guys first. Oh my gosh, these are so creamy. Oh, that looks really pretty. Ooh, this looks really nice. So we're just gonna go straight in with the balm and see what we get. Wow, these feel so like they melt on your lips like butter melts in a really warm kitchen, you know? And I mean that in the best way. There might be some people out there that don't love butter, but I'm definitely not one of them. That feels so incredibly comfortable and nice. I don't know that I've ever tried a lip product that is completely the opposite of sticky as this right here. I mean, I've tried some really comfortable lip balms and lip products before, but this feels like absolute silky butter. It is really, really nice. The color's really pretty too. I do feel like I need a little bit of lip liner. I almost always do. I just don't have the lips that I had in my 20s and 30s. So I'm just gonna go in with the Milani lip liner. This one is in the shade, I think it's 03, yeah. 03 Nude. If you are sensitive to sticky lip products, I think you're gonna absolutely love this thing. It is so creamy. Let's finish off with a little bit of setting spray. Ooh, which one should I try? I've got two in my little stash here. Let's go with the Catrice Prime and Fine one. This one always scares me a little bit to spray this one because it comes out so strong. Like a fire hose. Ooh. And that, my friends, completes today's makeup look. I love this makeup look. My cheeks look so dewy and nice. They feel really nice. I will continue to play with the highlighter and the bronzer so I can share my final thoughts on those with you guys. So far, so good though. But I do want to insert for you guys a couple of comparisons of the new Persona bronzer compared to 4 of my favorite cream bronzers in my collection. I have the Wet n Wild Wears Walnut, the Milk Makeup Bronzer Stick and Baked. I also have this one right here. This one's from Kaja. I actually don't think I've talked to you guys about this one very much, but I really love it. It's from Kaja Beauty. It's in their Playa Bento trio. The one one in the shade 01. The cream bronzer in here is the best product in this whole stack, I think. And then last but not least, the cream bronzer inside the Patrick Ta. So I'm going to insert for you guys right here swatches of those 4 products lined up so you can kind of see at least how the colors of those compare. Formula wise, I think the Persona one reminded me more of the Kaja and the Patrick Ta ones. It was a little bit more sheer, a little bit more creamy, a little bit more blendable. I mean, it blends literally like in 2 seconds. It's not quite as thick, it's a little bit more emollient, whereas these two, the formula of these two remind me quite a bit of each other, the Milk and the Wet n Wild. I will try and come back soon and give you guys an update on the new products that I tried out today, but so far, so good. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I really love this makeup look today. This is like a good everyday makeup look for me. Really nice skin, really pretty standard, slightly smoky eye, definitely it's a very Mandy kind of look. But that is all I have for you guys today. Big thanks again to Persona for sending over the highlight. I will link all of these products down below in case you guys are interested in any of them. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that you guys are doing well, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye. Very nice. Yeah. You can take all of them if you want and just sit down. Sit.